name's Ashley, and I'm going to be talking to you about my informative speech today. This I chose the topic of cancer. It's one of those that's pretty out there and very broad, and most people have an idea what it is. I'd like to start off by saying that more than 500,000 people who have cancer don't fully recover and tend to survive. That's more than 1,500 people a day who are diagnosed with it. An average of half of men and 1/3 of women will develop cancer in our lifetime. That's a lot if you tend to look at it, that every day people are getting diagnosed with a deadly disease, and most of the time they don't tend to fully recover from it. My purpose today to you guys is to let you guys know about cancer and how dangerous it is. Cancer can really affect anyone, and some more than others, some worse than others. You can gain something from this, I hope, by being informed about the deadly disease and how it's effective, and hopefully how to prevent it as well. Cancer is a deadly disease that might be preventable and curable. Not always, but it's out there. Today I'll be discussing to you about the deadly disease of cancer, the ways to prevent the growth of the cancer cells, and the different types of treatment for cancer. That may also be helpful for those of you who aren't informed or who want to know a little bit more about it that you don't know about. Foremost, cancer is a serious condition that involves growth of uncontrolled irregular cells. Normal cells typically grow and divide to replace the old and dead cells. Cancer cells tend to build up all in one place. Once those cells tend to build up, they start to form tumors, which then tumors then lead to destroying the body cells. And then your body's full of cancer cells, which builds up the tumors. And then that's how you discover what type of cancer you may have. There are two types of tumors. One of them is malignant, and the next one is benign. Cancers are usually identified depending on the body part in which it first attacks. For example, if the cancer cells begin to grow and build up in your colon, and it spreads to another part of the body, it would typically be identified as colon cancer. And once it begins to travel against the body, the doctors then determine it from there. Each individual can do different things in order to lower their chances of developing cancer. Sometimes it just happens and you wonder why. Why does this happen to me? Why does this happen to him or her? And sometimes we don't realize that it's a strong disease that attacks, and once it attacks, it'll keep going. But there are some ways we can help to prevent it from happening. Everyday lifestyles can affect the chances to future cancer growth. If you drink a lot or smoke a lot, that's very deadly, and it causes more of an effect for it to happen. One important thing I would say is to definitely exercise on a daily basis and maintain a healthy weight. That is definitely one of the most important. Make sure you eat healthy foods and make an effort to avoid fat foods, for example, animal products. Make sure to eat food sources that have many vitamins and minerals, such as fruits and vegetables. Be careful what you eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Make sure that it involves one of the top. Make sure what you're eating is healthy. Yeah, you may by accident eat, for example, McDonald's on one day, but replace that the next meal with all healthy foods. Good carbs, good protein, good vitamins, good minerals. There are also a couple different treatments that may help heal or alleviate the pain of cancer. The very important one, the top one, is definitely surgery. It's also known to be the oldest type of treatment. It is said to be the best option for a great chance to cure cancer. About 60% of cancer patients get surgery. Most of the time it does help and cure right away, but sometimes it's just the strongest option to get rid of it, but it doesn't always work. Radiation involves the high energy particles throughout the body, which then this describes the chemotherapy part, which is another treatment. This is also an effective option simply because the dosage of the drugs go directly into the bloodstream, which then travels throughout the body, killing the deadly cancer cells. It's also said to be it's a very tough process. You then start to have symptoms of losing your hair, nausea, vomiting. You feel weak, you don't have energy, you don't have strength to do anything. But that's the whole point of it. It goes directly to kill the bad cancer cells you have in your body. Lastly, I'd like to end this very statement about the whole entire speech. Cancer is a known deadly condition of the ungrowth of abnormal cells that build up and lead to transform into tumors, like I said before. Unhealthy foods that attract cancer cells, drinking and smoking, for example, are all huge factors that affect the chances of developing the deadly disease of cancer. The main treatments for cancer involve those of radiation, surgery, and chemotherapy. Lastly, any individual could be a victim of cancer, but we can all lower the chances of developing cancer by being highly informed on the dangers of the disease and the ways we can prevent it. Just like the ones I mentioned before, eating healthy, exercising, avoiding bad foods, avoiding bad things that you consume into your body. That is also very important. We can't always, avoid diseases, but if we help prevent it, it could be a huge difference if we just lacked and didn't care. I hope you guys, those of you who didn't know about the disease, learned a little about it and you're informed. And those of you who knew, I hope you learned a little more than you did before. Thank you for your time.